Hi everyone, glad to see you again. Today I have something informative lined up for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe online, cyber network. Before we dive into this wild story, we need a quick chat. A little context to set the stage. Think of this as the safety briefing before a roller coaster ride. A few important things to know before the real thrills begin. What you're about to hear is a tale of cleverness gone rogue. A trick so cunning it rattled the world's biggest banks and left security experts stunned. We're pulling back the curtain on a famous, very illegal ATM hack. One that made headlines and changed the way banks think about security. This is for your education, not your toolkit. We're here to learn, not to equip you for mischief. It's about understanding how things work, and just as importantly, how they can break or be broken. This is not a manual for mischief or a how-to guide for hackers. Trying this in real life? That's a one-way ticket to a small room with no view, and a future you definitely don't want. We're exploring this story like detectives on a cold case, digging into the what, the how, and the why, piecing together clues and motives. We're here to learn, to be amazed by human ingenuity, and to be warned by the consequences when that ingenuity is misused. Think of this as a digital ghost story, a phantom haunting cash machines worldwide, leaving chaos in its wake. We'll talk about how it worked, why it spread so quickly, and the chaos it caused for banks and customers alike. The goal? To make you smarter and safer, to help you spot the warning signs before trouble strikes. Knowledge is power. Knowing how the bad guys think helps you protect yourself, your money, and your digital life. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and get ready for a story that feels like a Hollywood thriller, but was all too real for those involved. With that, let's step into the shadows of the financial world and see what secrets are waiting to be uncovered. It started as a whisper, a rumor in the dark corners of the internet. Whispers that grew louder with every forum post, every encrypted chat, until they became impossible to ignore. In these hidden spaces, a new kind of criminal was quietly perfecting their craft, far from the eyes of law enforcement. This wasn't a noisy bank robbery with masks and guns. There were no alarms blaring, no getaway cars screeching into the night. Instead, the threat was invisible, and the danger was digital. It was quiet, clean, almost magical. The kind of crime that left no fingerprints, no broken glass, just confusion and empty vaults. The crime happened at the ATM on your street corner. The same one you might use every day, never suspecting it could be the scene of a high-tech heist. Suddenly, machines were giving away free money. People watched in disbelief as cash poured out, as if the ATM itself had decided to rebel. The method? ATM jackpotting, a name straight out of a spy movie. But this was no fiction. It was happening in real life, right under everyone's noses. A person would walk up, do a few things, and the ATM would start spitting out cash like a Vegas slot machine. No need for brute force, just a few secret steps, and the money flowed. No luck involved, just a calculated illegal trick using code, not weapons. The real weapon was knowledge, and the battlefield was digital. At first, banks were baffled. Security teams pored over footage, searching for clues that simply weren't there. No forced entry, no stolen cards. The money was just gone. The machines looked untouched, as if nothing had happened at all. It was as if a ghost had reached in and grabbed the cash. The perfect crime, leaving behind only questions and empty drawers. This was a new era of crime, and the world wasn't ready. The digital age had opened doors that no one knew existed, and criminals were the first to walk through. The idea spread like wildfire. Tools weren't complex. The method was surprisingly simple. Anyone with the right know-how could join in, making the threat even harder to contain. As the secret leaked, more people tried this digital magic trick. Each new attempt made the banks more desperate to find a solution. The ghost was no longer in one machine, it was starting to haunt them all. The age of the digital heist had truly begun, and no ATM was safe anymore. So how did this trick actually work? Let's break it down step by step because the method was both clever and shockingly simple. It was a two-step dance. Hardware and software working together in perfect criminal harmony. First, the criminals needed physical access to the ATM. Not the heavily guarded vault, but the computer compartment at the top of the machine, which is much easier to reach than you might think. Shockingly, many ATMs used the same default key for thousands of machines worldwide. These keys could be bought online, making unauthorized access almost trivial for anyone who knew where to look. Once inside, the attackers simply plugged in a USB stick loaded with custom malware designed specifically to target the ATM's operating system. The virus would then take over the cash dispenser, bypassing all the built-in security checks and controls that banks rely on. There was no need to steal credit cards or hack into the bank's central network. The malware let them communicate directly with the machine as if they were the bank itself. Sometimes the criminals would return later or send a partner at a different time to avoid suspicion and finish the job without drawing attention. To trigger the jackpot, they'd enter a special code or send a secret command known only to those in on the scheme. The infected ATM would then spit out every note it held, emptying its cash reserves in minutes, sometimes in broad daylight. The beauty for the criminals: stealth. The ATM believed the command was legitimate, so no alarms were triggered, and no one suspected a thing until it was too late. It was a simple, devastatingly effective attack that left banks scrambling to catch up. A machine built on trust and reliability became a tool for silent, high-tech robbery, right under everyone's noses. The real loophole? It was hidden in the ATM's own brain, the computer inside, trusted but vulnerable. What began as isolated incidents became a global epidemic. Jackpotting spread from Eastern Europe to Latin America, Asia, and the US. The reason? It worked, and it paid. Criminals saw it as low risk, high reward. Malware kits appeared for sale on the dark web, making the crime accessible to anyone. Gangs specialized. Installers infected machines, cash mules collected the money. This division made it hard for police to catch everyone. In one weekend, gangs hit dozens of ATMs across countries, draining millions before banks noticed. The crime was fast, efficient, and nearly untraceable. Physical cash vanished without a trace. The whispers became a roar. Jackpotting was no longer a secret. It was a global crisis. Banks were under siege. The stories sounded like scenes from a techno thriller. In Taiwan, 2016, a gang hit over 40 ATMs in one weekend, stealing more than $2 million. Installers flew in, infected machines, then left. Cash mules collected the loot. In Mexico, cartels made jackpotting routine. Teams calmly walked from ATM to ATM, filling backpacks with cash. Some banks shut down ATMs overnight to stop the bleeding. In Europe, a Romanian gang built a sophisticated network: scouts, technicians, collectors, spanning several countries. They even developed their own undetectable software. The US wasn't safe either. The Secret Service issued urgent alerts. Criminals were caught on camera in Pennsylvania. Open, plug in, cash out, walk away. The nightmare was real, and it was everywhere. Banks scrambled to respond. Law enforcement was always a step behind. The digital ghost was global. The banking industry panicked. This was a direct attack on their credibility. First, they changed the default keys on ATMs, making physical access harder. Next, they rolled out software patches to block unauthorized code. New systems checked software integrity at every boot, shutting down infected machines. It became a digital arms race. Hackers built weapons, banks built shields. Law enforcement worldwide joined forces. Interpol, Europol, and others shared intelligence. If a gang hit in Spain, details went to Germany, France, and beyond. This global cooperation was crucial. Criminals kept evolving. When USB ports were secured, they tried network hacks. When police watched ATMs, gangs used remote activation. It was cat and mouse, but slowly, the tide turned. Security upgrades and international teamwork made jackpotting riskier and less profitable. The ghost was being hunted. The world was fighting back. Governments responded fast and hard. New laws made tampering with ATMs, hardware or software, a serious crime. Even possessing jackpotting malware became illegal in many places. Why? Trust. The banking system depends on it. If people fear rogue ATMs, they stop using them. Bad for everyone. Jackpotting shattered that trust and threatened the economy. Worse, stolen cash funded other crimes, drugs, trafficking, even terrorism. Cracking down wasn't just about banks. It was about national security. Penalties became severe, long prison sentences, massive fines. The legal system drew a hard line. This tech has no legitimate use. You won't find a real guide for this anywhere. Tampering with the financial system is a crime the world won't tolerate. The message, don't mess with the money. The jackpotting wave taught tough lessons. Banks learned the danger of complacency. Security isn't just about cards and networks. Every part of the system, from keys to code, is a potential weak point. Collaboration became essential. Criminals worked globally, so banks and cops had to as well. Sharing information made everyone stronger. For the public, it was a wake-up call. Technology's convenience comes with risk. Even solid-looking machines can be vulnerable. Behind every transaction is a complex system needing protection. Security is a journey, not a destination. Hackers find loopholes, banks close them, the cycle never ends. The story is a permanent warning: never relax. Always innovate, always be vigilant. The ghost in the machine is always looking for a way in. After this journey, you might feel nervous at the ATM, but don't be. Banks have made big improvements, but it's smart to stay alert. Be aware of your surroundings. Avoid ATMs in dark or sketchy spots. Trust your gut. If something feels off, walk away. Check the ATM for anything odd. Loose parts, weird attachments, signs of tampering. If the service panel looks forced, don't use it, report it. Always cover the keypad when entering your PIN. Protect against hidden cameras. Check your bank statements regularly. Report anything suspicious immediately. The era of widespread jackpotting may be over, but financial crime evolves. Stay vigilant, follow these steps, and you'll keep the ghosts out of your machine. Use ATMs with confidence. Knowledge is your best defense. The world is safer, but only if we all stay sharp. The story ends, but the lesson continues. Thanks for watching and learning with me. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. I value your feedback. Cyber Network.